And the big announcement that was made at the Direct, the thing that's had people talking all week, Marvel vs. Capcom is back, and more specifically, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is back. Now, my initial question is, why in the world was this announced at Nintendo Direct and not at EVO?
That is very.
Would have had grown men passing out in the aisles if it was announced at EVO.
I think we might get a release date at EVO.
But I'm talking about the viral moment, Tim. Yeah, someone would have passed out with the controller in hand at EVO.
First of all, I kind of feel like Nintendo knew. They're like, yeah, bro, this Nintendo Direct is going to be very dry, so let's give them something.
Yeah, let's get that. Yeah,
let's make this 7 out of 10 show become an 8 or 9. And I do feel like that was the big selling point, bro, because you know, a lot of people are going to buy it for the Switch. Actually, to be honest, I feel like a lot of people are going to buy it twice. They're going to buy it for the Switch for the on-the-go experience, and you know, depending, you know, the person that they are, of course, PS4 or Steam. So you're going to have, you know, my on-the-go version, and when I'm sitting home at the couch version.
Right.
Now, yes, that's a lot of going back and forth, but people have shown that does not matter to them. They are just happy that it's back.
And the only thing that would make it even better is like if for some reason they end up announcing a cross save. That's it. That's all you would need at that point,
bro.
Would you guys would have lost your mind if you figured out there was new combos in the game?
No, I didn't know, because the thing is, with the one thing that I've come to appreciate having at least had the Ninja Turtles collection is that most of these companies are, thankfully, thank God, like aware of certain things that certain countries' fans are missing, right? So when I say that, it's like the Ninja Turtles, or even for the Capcom Fighting Collection 1, right? You had the option to pick between which version of the game you wanted to play. Did you want to play it in English? Did you want to play it in the Japanese release? Did you want to play it with this patch? Did you want to play it unpatched? And I think when you have those options, it still kind of gives it a breath of fresh air of like, this is still new to me because now I'm getting access to something that I literally did not have access to in any other release of the game. So to me, I'm like, I think the fact that they neatly bundled all these different versions, and to your point, Jory, they did include new content. Like I said in the chat, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter is getting Cyber Akuma as a playable character. That wasn't the thing that you could do before.
Also, X-Men Children of the Atom, Magneto and Juggernaut are playable. They were not originally playable.
So essentially, you're getting new characters for some of these games.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, like unlocked characters, playable versions of characters.
I'd love the fact. I would love if the movesets from Children of Atom made it all the way into Marvel vs. Capcom, because there's some movesets that's not in that Marvel vs. Capcom version. That's a nerfed version technically. So.
But I think it was more like a sprite issue at that point.
Yeah,
like some of those sprites, because remember at that point everything was literally pretty much hand drawn, and you could tell, especially when it got to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like, yo, that Thanos sprite look a little crazy in comparison to like, it just looks dated. So, you know, I think it was just like some of the sprite transfers just got a little wonky, you know, 2, 3, 4 games later.
No sprites update, right? The sprites are going to look exactly the same as you remembered it.
From what they've announced so far, the only thing that they've announced for a fact is they're going to reduce some of the strobe lighting effects from Marvel vs. Capcom. For people who are photosensitive. Like there's like this like a collision effect when you hit, like it just sparks, and they've dialed it down for people who are sensitive or seizure prone. For that game specifically, like a filter was added.
Infinite Sekiyomi. Wow.
Yeah, but because the thing is, like, I think Capcom has like unashamedly said, like, yo, we're not going back to sprites. Like, it's too much work. We're not doing that anymore. And under no circumstance we'll be going back to 2D sprites. It's over. So I think it's still in line with that.
I mean, you know, there's got to be a way to make sprites like a filter. You know, you make it. How does Guilty Gear do it? You know, like,
well, they don't use sprites.
They don't, but it looks drawn.
Well, yeah, you're still rendering it.
Yeah.
You're still rendering it, but that's a different. You have a wider range of motion when you're rendering a 3D model versus.
No,
here's Ryu punching. Here's Ryu uppercutting. Frame 1, frame 2, frame 20.
Yeah, no, that's ludicrous. But there's people that. I mean, I'm saying. All I'm saying is this. I think. I would assume sprites will be solvable by now, right? It'll be easier to make sprites because of the technology we have. But I guess I'm wrong.
Well, Jory, you also got to really look at it, bro. Like that. Yes, I do believe that technology is available, but you remember these companies, they're trying to save resources, bro. So they just want something that is palatable, concrete, and when I say concrete, is because they know the online is where people are going to really care. Because to be honest, bro, this just solidified Sony's evil run for many, many years. You about to see Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as a legacy title for a while, bro. Like that is not leaving. That is not
They
leaving.
couldn't get back the original artist, man.
What original artist would you want to come back?
For the one who did the artwork for Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I like the new art on this one personally.
It's cool, but I just think this the other artist has a unique finish to him, and especially seeing him in his later years, he would be on a different level. It would just have been nice for it to see him return. But the new work is not bad.
Now, actually, no, that's too far fetched. Yeah.
What was the?
Well, because to be honest, I do feel like this particular game is going to get a lot of momentum due to X-Men '92, because you remember that
97.
That was 97. Yeah, that was the.
We don't
peak.
want the ball actually.
Yeah. You know what I mean. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, because that was the peak of the some of these characters, their designs. Like I'm looking at Iron Man, War Machine, even how Spider-Man does his little hunching thing. Like that was the peakness, and then even the Magneto designs is like that was heavily inspired by that particular time frame.
Yeah. There's no other way. Look, you see Iron Man? There's no other way to make Iron Man in my mind.
I do believe that this is going to really be the template for Capcom versus SNK 3. Now, and I do feel it's going to open up opportunities for that. I mean, I was hoping maybe like another Marvel, but then the way Disney has been acting with this property, I don't see it coming. And then, the way Capcom is doing
Look at the artist, man. You see the art? That jug is fire. That jug is fire.
Well, I mean, Jory, to just a quick aside, on the website they actually have the PNGs and high resolution of all that art, so you can still get it in that quality if you want. It just won't be new. But you were saying,
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm really looking forward to this, man. This was a real good thing. Even the Punisher beat 'em up game, like after seeing experiences like Streets of Rage and the Ninja Turtles game, I was like, okay, you play as Punisher and Nick Fury. Okay, let's do it.
Wow, a genius, right? That team up makes so much sense. I'm like, man, yeah.
They would. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, why wouldn't they, right?
Yeah. I guess in terms of like as we're rewatching the trailer, was there anything that you guys feel like was a missed opportunity with this announcement? I mean, I'll say when like I saw the notification hit my YouTube and I dropped in the chat, I was smiling the entire day. I'm like, I cannot believe that I don't have to go buy an arcade cabinet to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I was very surprised there was no Xbox release. I was like,
yeah, me too.
Good point.
I don't know. I have no explanation. Microsoft does what Microsoft does. So
because the
Xbox port was trending on Twitter.
No. The reason why, I'll tell you why it happened. I know why.
Because the Capcom Fighting Collection, the first one is available on Xbox. So, and they said Capcom Fighting Collection has now become a series. So technically, this is Volume 2. And of course, we already know what Volume 3 is. We already know.
But I guess, do you feel like I think we would get Tatsunoko vs. Capcom in Volume 3, right? Like, why not?
No, Capcom vs. SNK is going to be Volume 3.
No, I know, like, but in addition to Capcom vs. SNK, like, why not throw Tatsunoko vs. Capcom into that? Like,
well, actually,
it wouldn't warrant its own release.
It's possible. I would not throw it away. Because I do feel, because actually, yes, that would be the first time that people outside of Nintendo are able to experience this property. So I do feel like Sony, like not Sony, I do feel like Capcom will open up that market. I do believe so.
It's a great way to incentivize sales.
I do kind of feel that they probably would have to label it something different, because I realize this one is called Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Now, if the next one is called Capcom Collections 2, then I do foresee like, all right, maybe Capcom versus SNK, Capcom versus SNK 2, then Tatsunoko, just to add it, put it all together, because I don't think that they're just gonna make something entirely separate just for that.
Yeah. And this is
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Now,
that makes sense.
I do believe this might open up an opportunity for them to redo the netcode for Ultimate Marvel 3, even though that was technically a PS3 port. Because people have been saying it, bro. Like this netcode, like, because people love Ultimate Marvel 3, bro. They love it.
I was gonna say, I think what this does is it buys them time, right? Like, obviously, Capcom is in its renaissance era of like every remake they've done, every remaster they've done is just turned to gold. This is just setting up in my mind for Capcom Fighting Collection Volume 3, the 3D era. Like right now, we're getting all the 2D remasters, but listen, Street Fighter EX and Street Fighter EX2 was a thing. Graphics, were horrific, but those were a thing. I remember them sitting at the arcade. They're like, see Ryu and Ken in 3D and 3D ranges of movement.
And Shin Bison is real.
Yeah,
Shin Bison is what inspired Bison now. That's Shin Bison moves that, you feel me?
That is an era.
Shin Bison special, man.
We'll see. We shall see, said the blind man.